the Wellesley Drive and Shiloh Road phase of the project, and then I'm assuming then it'll go down to Upper Beckleysville. Town staff and HDR Engineering will soon begin the process of drafting the request for proposals for the granular activated carbon equipment to go into the water treatment facilities to remove the PFAS. Once the RFP draft is ready, it will go to MDE for their review before it's released to possible vendors. Hampstead Grain Mill. We had a meeting last week with the developer, the engineer, and contractor for the Hampstead Grain Mill project. Since the level of disturbance is under 5,000 square feet, this property qualifies as a simplified site plan with the county and the town. Once the site plan is approved, the project will move on to the building permit process. This plan calls for 39 apartments on the property, 6 in the silos and 33 in the mill. There will be a mix of studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom units.
How many are in there now in the mill?
There were 13, but now there's only 4
Yeah, they've gutted most of the inside.
of the inside.
Yeah, so you've got 4 right now in the mill, and you still have the 6 existing in the silos, I
They're
think.
actually on the rear annex, so they're not in the 6-story. The 6-story part has no apartments in right now.
What's the parking ratio?
They came to planning and zoning. It's just under 2 per unit.
Okay.
Okay. Antietam Broadband. The town has begun receiving utility permit applications for the installation of fiber project. All the applications we have received to date are for the above ground work along Main Street and Gill Avenue. Shortly, we should begin receiving the applications for the trenching work, and actually we had our first packet of them coming in today. Elizabeth will be handling the permit process, and her background with utility permits will prove to be very, very helpful with this. The first phase of the underground work will be in the Westwood Park community. Antietam will be doing a very thorough outreach program in each phase to ensure that all residents are familiar with the work being done in their neighborhood. It goes as far as hanging door hangers on every residence to let them know that they're coming in the next couple of weeks. Finance, calendar year end work is complete, and W-2s and 1095s have been distributed to all employees. Cheryl will soon begin preparing the 2025 budget spreadsheet for distribution to department heads so everyone can begin working on the preliminary numbers. The request for bids for janitorial services to clean Town Hall, the police station, and the Public Works building was released on February 5th. This will be a 1-year contract with an option to renew the contract for 2 additional years. All bids received will be opened on March 7th, and this council will be awarding the contract for these services at the March 12th council meeting. The RFP package can be found on our website at hampsteadmd.gov under news and announcements. We continue to work on many projects. They include the Hampstead Overlook, Hans of Hampstead, Melanie Acres 3, and Stag annexation projects. And I can let you know that Hans of Hampstead just received stormwater approval for the concept plan, so they can move into the final plan shortly. Pantherplex, we received an email last month from Blue Ocean updating us on some of the things going on with the property, all very positive, and I reached out and asked if we could share, and he said we can share these. So as you may have noticed, a new roof is in the process of being installed over there. The use of the theater has been nonstop, and audience counts continue to increase. The use of the sports facility is also increasing. The Boys and Girls Club, which has been in the works for a while, they'll be opening late February. And a lease, this is the new one, a lease has been executed for about 5,900 square feet of the former school library space with Hopkins Medical for a sports-oriented physical therapy medical center. Hopkins Medical should be open this summer. I think it's a great use of the space. Military Banner Program is back. We're gearing up for that. We're proud to partner once again with the American Legion Hampstead Post 200 to pay tribute to the brave men and women who were serving or have given their life in the line of duty while serving the United States Armed Forces. Banners with the military's members' photo and branch of service will be displayed on the light posts along Main Street from May through September, honoring their service to our country. Applications and more information can be found on our website, hampsteadmd.gov/military banners, or by calling the town office at 410-239-7408 Also, bulk trash pickup. The first one takes place on Saturday, March 16th. Residents should place bulk trash curbside on the Friday evening before pickup. There are also bulk trash days on the third Saturday in July and October. And these days are reserved for large non-hazardous items like old chairs, appliances, etc. We cannot pick up tires, paint, motors, items with freon, oil, or other hazardous materials. One other note, just town offices and Public Works Department will be closed next Monday, February 19th for President's Day.
There you go.
And that's it.
I've had a lot of people ask me about the sign that's up at Pantherplex for the KLMB on the corner of Panther and 482. It's there to market the site. I haven't heard of anything yet
Have
as far
not
as
heard
any
anything.
interest. So, all right, thank you. Jim, any questions for him?
Nope.
Diane?
Hey, the Farmers Market Advisory Team met on February 5th. All of the music slots are filled for the 2024 season, so we'd like to thank all of the talented local musicians who have signed up. We are accepting new vendor applications. There are a couple of unique vendors in the works who will be selling products that I don't believe we have ever had sold at the market before. Once those applications are finalized, I will be able to announce those new vendors, hopefully at next month's meeting, so stay tuned.
June 1 or 8th, when are you starting?
First.
Good. Wayne?
The Hampstead train station, of course, is closed for the winter. Music in the Park, we're booking bands. First one's going to be on June 8th. And I've got the Blue Moon Big Band. I'm trying to set them up for September, so they're verifying they can come that date. Once they verify, then I can book the rest of them. I want to make sure I keep dates open because I want to make sure they play this year. Tree Commission, we worked with Judy Rang here in Town Hall to get a grant into the Maryland Urban and Community Forestry Committee grant. It's for $1,000. We're going to be doing planting over at Westwood Park, same area we did a planting last year. Going to finish the rest of that space up. And then we're also working on a Chesapeake Bay grant, which is $5,000. So working to get that done. Good
Great.
news. That doesn't have to show in kind, so, or matching funds, I should say. So that's that's it for me.
Good. Deb?
Okay, Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission met on Wednesday, January 24th. The first order of business was the approval of 2 backlit panels on the existing monument sign for the Goose Ridge Soaps at 1363 North Main Street. A few of us here were at the ribbon cutting last week for their very well-attended grand opening. The commission also approved a sign for light tax service at 1302 North Main Street. This consisted of a non-lit 36 by 40 inch sign secured to the existing pole. They also presented a sign for 5-inch thick aluminum letters to be affixed to the location to which the commission did not approve. And after discussion, they were approved for smaller lettering, which was determined to be better suited for the space. Pivot Energy was in attendance to discuss the approval of solar panel installation at 1400 Panther Drive. The rooftop solar array was approved and will not be visible from the ground. They had requested the electrical ground equipment to be installed at the northeast side of the building where 482 and Panther Drive are. Since the equipment was over 40 feet long, the commission asked that they consider moving it further south to be away from the entrance to Panther Drive, and it was requested they include natural screening as well. So more to come on that project. Water usage. January 2024 average water usage was 338,000 gallons per day. February 2024 so far was 336,000 gallons per day. Rainfall for January 2024 was 5.03 inches, and so far for February is 0.03 inches.
That include last night.
That doesn't include last night.
What was the snow total last night? 2 inches or this morning? Yeah, good.
But it was 1.3 inches of moisture.
Moisture, but good. We'll take every bit of it. All we need to do is threaten the water moratorium and Mother Nature cooperates. How about that? Dave?
Okay, last month I attended the Maryland Municipal League Board of Directors meeting along with the mayor. I'm sure I have a comment on that.
I also chaired the Mayor Municipal League Conference Planning Committee last month, and we should have some more information on that for next month's meeting here. And we were about 95% done on our rock wall at the Richards Family Cemetery Gardens. That should be completed in the next month, and then we're going to start planting as soon as spring hits it. So that's it.
Good, thanks. Chief, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. There we go. I think it's on. During the month of January, we investigated 10 accidents. 6 were minor, 4 were reportable, and 2 took place in the 482 circle. Speed signs were set at 30 locations for a total of 73 days of display. Overall traffic enforcement included 9 selective enforcement activities for a total of 6.5 hours. During that activity, 3 citations were issued, 7 warnings. Overall traffic enforcement included 186 citations and 190 warnings. We conducted 472 property checks. With reference to crime, we had 1 strong-arm robbery, 3 thefts that were under $100 in value, 2 thefts that were over $15,000 in value, 2 motor vehicle thefts, and 1 CDS violation. Arrests included 7 traffic-related, 1 arrest for the robbery I mentioned, 1 for a CDS violation, 1 for a failure to obey a lawful order, and 3 warrant services were conducted. Training included 112 hours, including the following topics. MView, I'll go back and explain that in a second. We sent an officer up to the National Counter-Drug Training Center for an interdiction and complete traffic stop course. We sent an individual to an LPR basic operator course as well as an LPR administrator, and I'll explain those in a second as well. And we also completed training in tourniquets and trauma kit application, as well as sending an officer to a traffic safety conference down in Ocean City. The LPR refers to the license plate reader you see on one of our cars. We hope to get another one at some point in time. One individual went to be the administrator to learn how to run the software and everything that's associated with it. And we sent 1 officer. We already have 1 officer that's been trained in that. We sent another officer to the basic operator course. The MView refers to a network that the state has to access various cameras, everything from highways to public buildings that sign up to the system. For the system, the big thing for us here, it now gives us a way to view the cameras that are all 3 schools that we have. We have a policy that prohibits us from actually looking at inside the school during the normal school day unless, God forbid, there's some kind of problem. But it does now give our people the ability to see activity in the parking lot, everything on the outside of the school. Community events included Hampstead Day planning meeting. We attended the January meeting. We also participated in the Springboard quarterly domestic violence meeting over in Westminster. We attended the Park Place Condos HOA, and we participated in the Spring Garden Elementary pep rally as well. And that would be my report.
Questions for Dave? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, I guess that brings me to me. It's been a busy month. You mentioned Goose Ridge, and Deb was there, Wayne, Diane, Jim, and the nice ribbon cutting with over 100 people, and it was great to see Kim and Janice, who were, I assume they're going to continue to be vendors at the farmers market, but to take the next step and actually put up a storefront. And it's always nice to give a proclamation for a new business, and and I'm a customer, so it works out pretty good. But it was a great afternoon. Other things, I've met with a couple of the Board of Ed candidates. There's an election other than presidential election coming up this year, and when our primary comes this year, there's only 4 people who've decided they're running, so they'll all go through to the general in November. But I talked to Greg Malvo, who lives relatively close by, and Kristen Zimmer, who lives over in Westminster. I like both of those candidates for what it's worth. Let's see. If I were a mayor, it's that time of year where I go to the 4th grade. So last week I went to the 4th grades of Spring Garden and Hampstead Elementary. This week I'm going to 5th District. I added that one this year, given that a lot of those kids live in the zip code and they come here for their sports and whatever else. So it'll be interesting to see. But I give them a little bit of a history of Hampstead and all the different things we have, the zoning of Hampstead, showing the town boundaries and those kind of things. And then I answer all their questions, and so they're always There's always somebody who throws me off a little bit, but they were well prepared, and their goal this year is to do the essay, and it's about doing a new project in the town and what it would add to the town if you did it. So I look forward to seeing what they come up with. As always, we can't have all the good ideas. On the mundane side of business, it's hard to believe it's only been a month, but the General Assembly is going full tilt. Over 1,000 bills in both the House and the Senate have been introduced. I serve on 2 legislative committees, one for Maryland Municipal League and one for business. It's interesting that a lot of times those two mostly agree more than they disagree, but there's a number of bills that are out there. We'll see how they move forward. There's a, I guess, an important bill related to affordable housing and expanding affordable housing, and we'll see what comes through the General Assembly after they're done. But basically, the governor is saying if you have the affordable housing, you can build modular housing in any single-family housing district. I think it was 50% have to be affordable units. I think that'll probably get negotiated down a little bit. You only can have one public hearing in front of a public body, so they only have to come to the Planning and Zoning Committee one time. And there's no APFO, Adequate Public Facilities Ordinances. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out of the General Assembly, especially that last one, because how can MDE tell us we don't have the water and then we have to approve their subdivision? So just stay tuned. That's only one of at least 100 that the various organizations are tracking out of the 1,000 in each chamber. So always an interesting time of year. So we'll have an update in March. So I think that's it for my comments. There is no unfinished or new business this month. It's a quiet month, relatively speaking, otherwise for the town, even though we look like a duck, as you can tell by what Jim said. There's a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface. As far as ordinances and resolutions, we have the introduction of Annexation Resolution 45, which is the Stag Hampstead LLC property with 51.2322 acres located at 630 Hanover Pike. So basically, that big warehouse over there of 1 million square feet, when it wasn't originally brought into town, now they want to bring it into town so they can have our water.
I'll make a motion to introduce so we can discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a second.
Second.
Okay. Jim, would you like to give a summary and introduce our guests?
Sure. Just a little background. So a while back, we received a phone call from Penguin Random House, who is the leasee over there, and inquiring about receiving town water. Once we told them what the process was, they said that they would like to proceed. So what we needed to do is we reached out to the owner of the property, Stag Hampstead, and just to make sure they were okay with it, since they are owning a property, and they said, yes, go ahead and with it. So the first thing we needed to do was you had to get that parcel into the municipal growth area. And so we did that, and this council actually approved the growth area amendment last November. So the next step in the process of them connecting to town water is they need to be annexed into the town limits. So we had an annexation plat drawn up, meets and bounds, annexation petition. We all have all the pieces now, so we can introduce it. This is just the introduction of the petition, the resolution. Monday, we sent the plan to the Maryland Department of Planning, the Carroll County Department of Planning, and the commissioners of Carroll County for their reviews. MDP, Maryland Department of Planning, they require 60 days to review it. Hopefully they can get it done in that time, and if that's the case, then in April we will bring it back for a public hearing and hopefully the adoption of the annexation resolution and bring this property into the town. It will help immensely with in-growth annexation to the town, the water usage, and everything else. The impact of this property on the town will be minimal, and it will be a very nice addition to our tax base. We have 2 gentlemen with us tonight that have assisted with this. We have Marshall Green from CLSI, who crafted the annexation plat and the meets and bounds. Now we have Mr. Greg Rapisarda from Saul Ewing. He is representing Stag Hampstead in this, the legal. And so if you gentlemen have anything you would like to say, or... Sure.
Thank you, Ed. It's always good if people can hear you on TV.
Well, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I'm Greg Rapisarda. I'm an attorney with Saul Ewing. I represent Stag Industrial, Stag Hampstead LLC. And I think the annexation kind of speaks for itself, but I will just say that Stag is very excited about being able to move in and certainly to please their lessee, Penguin Random House.
Is this Goodman related still? Is he in the owners in Boston?
No,
Oh,
no.
where's the owner based?
Well, Hampstead, the Stag Hampstead LLC?
Yeah.
You mean the person that I'm in contact with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not Boston, I don't think.
Okay.
I was in our Boston office and he knew that, we never connected. I don't think it's Boston, but I don't know where.
Okay.
And that's all I really have if you have questions, but Marshall really has
Yeah,
did
if
a
you have
great
any,
job with the property and annexation plat, and so he could answer any of those questions.
I don't have any questions. I've read it. I'm happy.
Everybody good? All right, Marshall, you're off the hook.
yep.
Thank you guys for coming up.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So this is the warehouse that's right down here at the end of the street at Hauxville that was originally the Sweetheart Cup warehouse, so 1 million square feet. It should have been.
1.2.
Huh?
1.2.
0.2 million? Okay.
1.2.
You got to take into account the curvature of the earth when you build that kind of building. So, but, you know, it wasn't annexed in originally, but now it will be.
When was that built? Do you know?
I want to say late 90s.
Late 90s, yes.
Yeah, it was during my first tenure.
And along the lines of Deb talking about solar panels going on Pantherplex, the Stag building, the entire roof is covered with solar panels, and if I believe it is one of the largest solar farms on a roof in the world.
Sheesh. Wow.
There you go.
They don't build them much bigger. Well, they do build them, 1.5, I think. But yeah, it's a pretty big building. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the annexation resolution 45 is introduced. There'll be four public notices, right?
4 public notices
In the Carroll County Times
in the Carroll County Times.
and 1 public hearing here
Correct.
in April, I thought I heard.
Hopefully in April, as long as MDP can get it reviewed within 60 days, we will be good to go. Also, when it goes to Carroll County, it will have to be reviewed by their Planning and Zoning Commission, and then it has to go to the Carroll County Commissioners for approval.
Okay, there is no public comment because, we had rain, snow, wind, everything else today. I guess everybody's taking the month off. Don't blame them. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, back the same day. Interesting. So, whatever
Make a motion to
enjoy. A motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Safe travels back.
They are.
Yeah, I thought it was Goodman.
Hey, Jim.
Seth Malamud.
Jim?